Hey guys, this is Miguel, and in today's video I make a turn marker control deck profile. This deck is currently my favorite deck to play with. That's how fun and overpowered it is. Our main objective is to lock our opponent's turn marker consistently and then nuke their field with Sasuke Freezing Eyes. Without further ado, let's start with our 0 drops. 3 Haku Childhood, his tool. During our mission phase, we can give our opponent 3 battle rewards and remove this ninja from the game to move our opponent's turn marker down by 1. A really high cost, but it's absolutely worth it. Especially early game, this Haku slows down our opponent consistently. Imagine they have the perfect curve in their hand and are ready to play their 1-drop, but thanks to our Haku, they're back to 0 now, and can therefore not deploy a ninja during their next turn. Not only that, but their hand is pretty much useless, because they can't play their mission cards and generate chakra naturally, while we benefit a lot from being ahead of our opponent. Also, since that Haku already removes himself from the game, we don't need to worry about him being blown up by our Sasuke later. Our next 0 drops are 3 Kiba Kinos. This Kiba is one of my favorite 0 drops in the game. When he's deployed, we can look at the top 5 cards of our deck and grab a mission card among them. This makes my deck faster and more consistent because we really need our mission cards ASAP. Then we have 2 Conan Childhood. This deck is partially a rain deck, and Conan Childhood is mainly here to grow into our mature Conan later. But she also has a cool effect. During EOJ, we can injure her to injure an opposing 0 drop. Even if we don't use it, our opponent will still be wary of it, because in most cases this trait is in our favor, and that's scary. Our last 0 drops are 2 Yahiko Childhood. He has decent stats, but other than that he is actually not that impressive, because we don't make use of his effect. Like Conan Childhood, his main purpose is to grow into our mature Yahiko, who is really strong and can set up the win condition for us later. Let's talk about our 1-drops. 3 Shino's Secret Plan. He's from the earlier sets, but I took the freedom to remake him. I hope you enjoy the new design. While he is in our field, all of our opponent's mission cards get +1 entrance cost. This makes it even harder for our opponent to do their plays. He is absolutely annoying. Unfortunately though, he's not valid, so we really don't want him to get injured. Like Kiba, we can actually growth him, but that doesn't give us any value, so we never do that. What we instead want to do with them is to squat them on turn 3. Then we also have 1 Kidomaru State 1. He's just too good to not have. I already talked about him in my Ghost Panic deck profile though, so let's just move on to our 2 drops. First, we have 2 Conan Akatsuki's Beautiful Maiden. She has really good stats, especially if you growth her, and 2 amazing effects. The first effect is valid, which is fantastic in cases we used Conan Childhood's effect and then growth her in injured status. At the start of our turn, if our turn marker is higher than our opponent's, we can draw 1 card. She is our main draw engine, but her effect is not worth much if we can't consistently control our opponent's turn marker. Also, if we went second, we have to manipulate our opponent's turn marker twice before we are ahead of them. But if that would be too hard for us to achieve, I wouldn't make this deck profile, right? Also, she can't be blocked by a team that includes 1 or more 0 drops in it. This effect can be really strong if our opponent has no other option but to deploy low drops. Then we have 2 Kyusuke. He is water fire and has ambush. That alone is really pleasing to see. But he is also a rain ninja with weapon attribute. The perfect wielder for our weapon tool cards. His stats are also decent, especially when we control another rain ninja with a wind symbol, like Conan. In that case, he becomes a 5-1. Then add the free shuriken on top of that and he swings solo with 7-3 on turn 2. But he also has a theme-related effect. If our turn marker is higher than our opponent, target ninja with an entrance cost of 2 or less gets neck 2 during this turn and also next turn. This is a really annoying effect. Assuming our opponent will never be able to deploy a single 3-drop in their game, we can basically target any ninja. When he and Conan enter the field, we can tip the scales real quick. Then we have 2 Yahiko as one of our 3 drops. When we put him in play, we can move one of our opponent's battle rewards to our hand. Really good to get card advantage and honor our Haku's sacrifice. We can also growth him to get another battle reward, which is really dirty. But you can only do that if he doesn't have a growth coin already. He also has a similar effect as Conan. He can't be blocked by a team with 1 or more 1-drops in it. If you stack that with Conan and the fact that you keep their turn marker as low as you can, you already set up the win condition. If they can't block you with most of their ninjas, you just constantly swing and win free BRs. Then we also have 1 Utakata, Bubble Wall. He's an amazing 3-drop with both wind and water symbol, making our deck very consistent. When he's put in play, we can pay 2 wind and 2 water. If we do that, we can draw 3 cards and also discard 2 of our opponent's chakra, which is absolutely amazing. It's not that hard to get the 4th chakra either, but even if you can't afford it, just using one of the 2 effects is also really good. And now we have arrived at the star of our deck. 3 Sasuke Freezing Eyes. When he is put in play, every 1 and 0 drop on the field gets nuked. Assuming we successfully controlled our opponent's turn marker, our opponent will lose at least most of their ninjas. Not only that, but we don't lose anything from our side. Because if you take another look at all our 0 and 1 drops in our deck, you will notice that they all have one thing in common. Each of them evolve even before we deploy our Sasuke. Kiba and Shino squat on turn 3. Konan and Yaiko shoutout grow into their mature forms. And Kidomaru reinforces just right before we drop our nuke on turn 1. We start off so weak and insignificant in the beginning, but then totally obliterate our helpless opponent even before they can start their game properly. And if that wasn't enough, we can also grow him to drop a 2nd nuke. And even if they negate our Sasuke, we can just danzo him and drop another Sasuke next turn. They will get annihilated no matter what. We run 1 Nagato as our 5-drop. He can't be blocked by teams with 1 or more 2-drops in it, which is really amazing, not only because we stack him with our other rain ninjas, but also after Sasuke blows up the field, they can't even block him with their 2-drop, if they have any. But if he still gets blocked, he has Execute, which is really scary. Not only that, but he can recycle any jutsu card from our discard pile for just 1 chakra. Our last ninja is 1 Itachi Inferno. He is a 6-drop with ambush. We can use him as a hand cost for our fire missions and tools, which is very convenient. I rarely get to play him because most players just scoop when they see Freezing Eyes, but he is actually busted when you get to play him. Your opponent cannot play cards with an entrance cost of 2 or less. Well, on turn 6 that might not seem very impressive, but remember, this is a turn marker control deck. What it basically means is this: your opponent cannot play any cards. They just lose, like that. Now let's talk about our mission cards. First, we have 3 Mecha Tactics, one of the most played 1-drop missions in the game for a reason. It has 2 symbols and searches out any ninja as long as we have enough chakra. We really need this to get the right cards in our hand. There is nothing else to add here. Then 2 Hidden Rain Village, the perfect mission for turn marker control and actually one of my favorite set 30 designs. If their turn marker is 1, they can't win any battle rewards during their next turn. This is really helpful because we start off the game very slow. We can stall some time and just pass their swings without worrying about them winning any BRs too much. If their turn marker is 2, we can draw 1 card. Really good to keep our hand size. If we stack that with Konan, we can draw 2 cards each turn. Of course, you really need to lock them on turn 2 to do that. And if their turn marker is 3 or higher, all our rain ninjas get +1/+1 during this turn and next turn. Really good if something goes wrong, but actually you don't even want to allow your opponent to go higher than turn 2. Then we have 3 Check. It's a turn 2 counter mission. Our opponent draws 1 card. Then they can't move their turn marker during this turn. This is one of our main tools to prevent our opponent from going higher than we want. Sure, we give them a lot of card advantage, but as long as their turn marker is low enough, their hand is gonna be useless anyway, especially if you stack that with their Shino. Next missions are 3 The New Akatsuki, another search mission that searches our rain ninjas. If our turn marker is higher than our opponent's, we can also draw an additional card, which makes it really good. It would be really inefficient if we slowly run out of cards in our hand, especially if we spam check. And our last missions are 2 Warhawk, and drawing 4 cards is just too crazy. And with Yahiko, we can recover the battle rewards we give our opponent right after we play this mission. We will have so many cards in our hand to style on our opponent that turn. We have a lot of tool cards in our reinforcement deck that are just waiting for this opportunity. Also, we want to draw our Sasuke on time. Now it gets really interesting. We start with our main jutsu, 3 Glare of the Snake. This jutsu costs 2 water and everyone can use it. If our opponent deploys a ninja during their next turn, they can't move their turn marker at the end of that turn. Another card that controls our opponent's turn marker early game, and it's actually a lot more efficient than check, because you don't lose so much card advantage. But you can also stack it with check. For example, let's say you play check during their mission phase, you lock their turn marker during that turn. And if they swing, you play glare and also lock them for their next turn in advance. This is super annoying because you just don't give them any room to play the game. Of course, they can just decide not to deploy a ninja, but that just leaves their field wide open. Next, we have 2 airfish. I would love to play 3 because of how broken this jutsu is in this deck, but I just don't have any more room to fit a 3rd copy in. And consistently controlling the turn marker is more important than this, because this jutsu only unleashes its max potential if we successfully do so. With this jutsu we can snipe any ninja with an entrance cost of 2 or less. With the right setup, that means we can snipe any ninja. But we also need a user with entrance cost 2 or more to play this. And that's why we have really reliable 2-drops in this deck. The cost is also acceptable because we only need 1 water, the rest is unspecific. Then 2 power of the Cursed Blood. It costs 2 generic, which is nothing, but only Sasuke and Itachi can use it. And the effect is simple but broken. Move your opponent's turn marker down by 2. Well, not only do we blow up the field with our Sasuke, but when we swing with them, we also basically reset our opponent's turn marker. This is just stupid at this point. They are forced to play low drop ninjas during their next turn only to get nuked again if we growth our Sasuke, while we don't lose a single ninja. And our last jutsu is 1 Big Bang. We include this jutsu in any Wind and Lightning deck. There is just no way we don't play free mission cards. The last 3 cards in our deck are also self-explanatory. 3 Ayame. Same again, why wouldn't you play free cards? And we really appreciate the extra water chakra we desperately need to play Glare of the Snake early game. Let's move on to our reinforcement deck. 1 Shinokiba, obviously. He provides us with another draw engine and can also swing solo with 5 combat. 1 Kidomaru State 2, also self-explanatory. He has amazing synergy in this deck and can seal the game even without Sasuke sometimes. 1 Danzo. He's our boy if Sasuke gets negated. Also, he becomes an 8-7 if we play him, which is broken. 1 Itachi Sasuke. Turn 6 Mastery, amazing stats and broken effect. Even though you don't need the squad in most games, it's really tempting to mastery your Cursed Blood, just because you can. And 1 Pain Itachi. He is even more tempting to squad into than Itachi Sasuke, because you only need to sack your Itachi. Also, they become a forbidden jutsu user thanks to Rinnegan. And also take a look at his effect. This is just humiliation at this point. Now the tool cards. 1 Kunai, our only 1-drop. 2 explosive tags, a really powerful tool and one of my favorites. We can give 1 damage to an opposing ninja with this and also scare the hell out of our opponent. Kyusuke can grab it for free, but if you prefer better stats, we also have 1 shuriken and 1 Fuma shuriken in our inventory. These weapon tools are mainly for him because he gets the highest boost. 1 Giant Fan. Good to negate certain jutsus. Whether you need it depends on your matchup though. 1 Bashosen. Our main symbols are water, fire and wind. So we have a wide variety of keywords we can give our ninjas depending on the situation. And lastly 1 Kusanagi. Really good on Sasuke. This helps a lot to give him enough strength to swing solo, and the handle effect is really strong too. The last cards in our reinforcement deck are 2 forbidden jutsus. First, 1 Kirin, an ultimate jutsu for our Sasuke. And it's also turn 6, which is really good since most forbidden jutsus are turn 7. We do give our opponents some battle rewards in this deck, so we can actually afford the cost without problems. And the last card is Planetary Devastation. It's turn 8, which is very late, but considering the fact that this is a turn marker control deck anyway, this is not bad as our last trump card. We can use it with either Nagato or Pain Itachi and it straight up snipes 1 team. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts on this in the comment section below. With that being said, goodbye and take care.